Welcome back to the Alter Ego Bros. I'm Andy, that's Nick, and today we're going to be talking about A Song Sung Blue, which we finally got early access to, so you're welcome out there. So right off the bat, I'm a 7 out of 10 for this one. I kind of struggled grading this one. I wasn't sure where to put things in their different categories, but overall, there's parts of me that feels like this might be undershooting it, but also parts of me that might be overshooting it too. In general, I really like the movie. But what about you, Nick?
Let me read this real quick and memorize it.
I'm glad you scripted something. Robert's going to be very happy with you.
Robert's going to be so happy with me right now. I got you, buddy. I thought that this was a beautiful, relatable, and entertaining movie that loved to pull the rug out from underneath you. I gave this one a 10 out of 10.
So that puts this movie at an 8.5 on our tier list. I felt like I might be undershooting it. I still feel like I am, but whatever.
I think you might be a little bit.
Let's dive into the story, because you mentioned that they like to pull the rug from underneath you, and they sure fucking do. And that's a big aspect in this movie. So let's start with the story, and then we'll kind of go from there. So, story overall, you're following Hugh Jackman trying to be this this musician, and he is a movie star already. He's trying to be an entertainer. He has his own name, but then decides that, or is convinced that he should do a Neil Diamond, not impersonator, but interpreter. And that's what sold me on this movie and what made me really interested in it, because we were considering going to see Marty Supreme, and we said, yeah, fuck that to the shell of a Timothée Chalamet that just keeps doing these cop-out movies just to get an Oscar nomination, and that's all the further it will ever go. So, Song Sung Blue, I'm really glad we chose this one. The acting overall was really good from everyone. Everyone's performance was super solid. I really thought you made a good point about it being a really relatable movie, because in the beginning, it was like kind of more of the traditional like movie I expected it to be, but then halfway through is when they first pull the rug underneath you, and it's a what the fuck just happened moment. And they really dove into that from then on. And they really talk about aspects of depression. They talked about aspects of like kind of going crazy, some mental illness issues, but also how decisions on, well, not decisions, but medical issues, financial issues, career issues really have this whole impact on your family. But at the same time, the whole family is also supporting each other in different ways. And in different times, one person has to be the person that carries the team. And it's a really, really beautiful story overall because of that. But what do you think about the story?
So this movie is based off of a documentary of the same name. I think that this is what Smashing Machine really wished it was. And the strength of that lies in that this story isn't centered around a Neil Diamond interpreter. It really doesn't have very much to do with Neil Diamond at all. It's centered around the characters. It's centered around their family dynamic. And that's where all of the drama, all of the conflict, and all of the resolution happens within this movie. When I said that, it pulls the rug out from under you, this is one of the few movies, I can't really think of one in recent memory, that has like 2 climaxes and 2 resolutions to it. And wow, it was very emotional both times. And I'm not afraid to say I was bawling like the last 20 minutes of that movie. It was something that I was not prepared for going in.
So let's talk about the music then, because you made a point about it not really being super focused on Neil Diamond, and that's correct, but it still revolves around his music. You do hear Sweet Caroline, just in case anyone's wondering, okay? You do hear it. I thought, so when I ever think about how you structure what song you kind of prioritize where within a movie, especially in a movie like this, when he has certain hits that people want to hear, I thought their choices in songs and the placement of those songs were just immaculately appropriate. And I thoroughly loved that they also found some really like hidden gems in there that you would not normally hear, that is a beautiful song that needed to be heard. So I had no complaints about the music. I gave that full points just because like when you're restricted to only that music and you chose the exact right songs for those moments, you win. Good job. So what'd you think about it?
So I agree with you. I think that they really wrapped up the whole movie nicely with the songs that they had, and how the ones that they chose really showed that moment in the lives of Mike and Claire. It was very well thought through that they really wanted to start with a certain song. They really wanted to end with a certain song, but they did want to give all of the people who know Sweet Caroline, you're gonna hear it, okay? You're gonna hear it. Just wait, you're gonna hear it. But they make it a point to call it out and be like, Neil Diamond is so much more than just Sweet Caroline. And I thought that was a great line that they threw out a couple times in the movie, and how the main character, Hugh Jackman's character, Mike, was kind of frustrated with people about that.
There were 3 things that really stuck out to me in the movie that made me realize that I have to double check who directed this. Give me a second. Craig Brewer. I don't know who he is, I'll be honest. So I'm a shitty movie reviewer. But what I want to say is, like, whoever's on cast, like, so for you musicians out there, when they're playing the songs and you see the musicians in the background, they're fucking actually playing it correctly. I was surprised by that because you never ever get that. But there's somebody coordinating that in the editing room too to make sure, like, this is playing exactly how this is when we show this little clip here. There's another aspect where Mike calls out saying, like, I don't want to play Sweet Caroline. Like, that's all anyone wants, but there's so much more to it. And it's true, I don't want to hear Sweet Caroline. It's overplayed. I hate that song. I'm so tired of hearing it. I honestly am. So I love that he felt that same way that I did. That was really satisfying. And the third thing is when they're at the bar and they were playing the Neil Diamond, and the bar people didn't like it because they're a motorcycle gang wanting some 80s rock or something. One of them called Play Freebird. And I'm like, there's somebody on set right now knows what life is as a musician, and threw that line in there. And like they knew what they were doing the whole time. So the details from the music aspect were completely thought out.
You don't ever see Neil Diamond, which I thought was a really good choice.
Oh, me too, completely.
I could have got real weird really fast.
I knew that we weren't going to see Neil at any point because the moment they mentioned you're going to meet Neil Diamond, they threw about 10 times at you where they said, like, you're not going to meet Neil Diamond. I'm like, okay, I see where this is going, but it's a matter of when. So yeah. I knew that we were not going to meet him, and I really do dig that choice, or else that's just going to create some sort of controversy, most likely, that didn't need to be there. It takes away from what the movie is about, and it's about the family
exactly.
that we mentioned about.
The acting was really terrific. I thought everybody, even the younger actors, did a brilliant job.
Especially the little kid surprised me too, with making me feel for him, because normally the younger ones is where it can you can lose that illusion because of the acting, but really good job overall. So I wanted to mention my favorite moment, and my favorite moment in this whole entire movie, and it's kind of, I don't know, it might be kind of quirky, but I really just fucking love the ending scene when they get back home and you see the daughter fixing her car by doing an oil change, and you see the son playing the videos that he recorded throughout this entire time. It was just a beautiful way to show the impact that Mike had on the family, and like his legacy being left behind, and then to finally plant that pot, which to me represented, no, that plant that represented Mike to me. It was just, I thought that final scene had to be figured out before they even like did the whole movie, because that was all planned throughout the entire thing. So I just wanted to give a shout out to that last scene because it was so beautiful.
I did want to mention really quick the house and how it felt lived in and real, sure. And very much of the time. Like, there was stuff everywhere. There were things out on the counter. It wasn't like super clean or anything. The outside had paint peeling on it. It had wooden siding and stuff like that. So it looked lived in. It looked natural to Wisconsin, which is where it took place. And I really do think that when filmmakers put that kind of effort into the little things like that, it really pays off. And this kind of ties into our internet aspect for this week. I fear that because I know what else is coming out, we've got, like you mentioned, Marty Supreme, we've got Avatar 3, we've got Anaconda, SpongeBob movie. There's a whole slew of movies that are just going to be bombarded around Christmas time, around the holidays, and I think this movie is gonna get lost in that, and I'm really worried about it. I wanted to just encourage people, like, if you did have to pick a family movie to go out and see, I think this would be the one to do it to. I can't really think of any other that would be like a family-oriented movie.
Oh, I do want to mention there's an upside down camera angle, which we stopped counting a while back ago because I got tired of doing it. But there's an upside down camera angle in this one, and it's so beautifully shot. I'm like, that is an appropriate upside down camera angle. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I can't think of it off the top of my head. Like you said, we stopped counting, so I stopped noticing.
The two daughters were outside in the yard and like first time hanging out, but she said like, hey, let's get high, lay upside down on our car, and you see planes flying over, and it was like such a trippy view too. It was super cool. That gets a gold star. It goes on my list of best upside down camera angle shots ever made. Well, that wraps up our thoughts. What are your thoughts? Let us know down below what you thought about this movie and if you want to go see it or not. And with that said, remember, we're just two regular dudes
doing regular reviews. I think we put "and your dad'll love it" at the end of that, right before the do a little space. And your dad's gonna love this one because it not specifically your dad too, but we could say that to the audience. And your dad's gonna love this movie.
And cut.
Got this awesome vinyl from it. Sweet Caroline. Just let the audience think that they can get one.